Okay, well, welcome to Coach Rob's first interview. I'm with my classmate Paco Magsaysay, and we're neighbors here. We live close by, and we were having a chat the other day because we were. He sent over some ice cream. Very good neighbor. Thanks, man. How you doing, Paco?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Well, very, very good because you sent over some ice cream. And then that really prompted me to want to share with my team your story because I've been following it. I didn't realize how many years it's been, no? I've been following your story and I noticed that lately you're really hitting a momentum in growth. And I've been so impressed because I don't really follow musicians or celebrities. I follow entrepreneurs. So for me, you're like a celebrity in the entrepreneur world.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm really a fan. And I wanted to share with the team your story. But, since your story is so good, instead of just putting it in my private group, I wanted to put it on the Coach Rob page so that the public could see it. And now we're streaming it live. And thank you for sharing it with your friends. Okay, I'll just check my phone just to double check because it's my first live on. Let's see. Yeah, we're on. We're on.
Great.
Okay, now, you wanted me to put together some pictures. I'm going to share the screen of your slides. And one participant can share at a time. Okay, and here we go. Let's start with your logo and the name. How'd you come up with the name? How'd you come up with the logo?
Okay, so the name of the company, Carmen's Best, we incorporated in 2009. And the name of the company we incorporated was Carmen's Best Dairy Products. Because at that time, we did not know we were going to get into ice cream. So Carmen's Best Dairy Products is the official company name.
Yeah, you were telling me you started out with pastillas and milk, no?
We were making flavored milk, pastillas, drinkable yogurt. And but when I made ice cream, I said, okay, we're not making anything else but ice cream. That's all we're gonna do. So we started making ice cream around 2010. And then we went in the market 2011. We started selling 2011.
Okay, now who are these on the picture here?
Okay, so those are my kids. Jaime is to the left side of the picture. He's at my leftmost. And the girl with the white shirt is Carmen, my daughter. And Mikey is in the blue shirt all the way to the right side of the picture.
Nice.
So I named the company after Carmen, my only daughter.
Yeah, but now you're forced to good. Now you need one for the boys also, right?
That's why we have a brand called J&M Ice Cream. So J&M stands for Jaime and Mikey.
Gotta be fair.
It's alcohol infused. That's for the boys.
Yeah. And you gave me the samples and I loved it. And I shared it with my family yesterday for Mother's Day.
Yes.
We loved it. Loved the
Glad
flavor.
you liked it. Yeah.
We really enjoyed it. And actually, for me, and I say this objectively, your ice cream for me is the best in the world. Whenever I try any other, it just doesn't compare.
Yeah. But when we first developed ice cream, we knew that we had to be different. And if we just followed what the quality of it was out there, there's no way we can compete with the big companies, big ice cream companies here. So we had to differentiate ourselves. And the way for us to differentiate ourselves was to make it the best way we can make it. And in doing so, we wanted our own customers to be our advertising. Because when people try our ice cream and they get to enjoy it, they tell their friends and family about it. So we don't really spend so much in advertising because we know that our customers tell people about our ice cream, our quality.
Yeah, that's actually so timely. Now I want to get to the marketing a little bit down the line, but tell us about these cows. Where'd you guys get these cows?
Okay, so we work with the National Dairy Authority, the NDA.
Okay.
They are part of the Department of Agriculture, and we availed of a program where they brought in cows from New Zealand, and We got about 100 pregnant heifers. The heifer is a female cow, as you see in the picture. So we started with 100 pregnant heifers back in 2007 because my father put up a dairy farm with his friends in Bay, Laguna. But
Okay.
it's spelled Bay, B-A-Y, Bay
Yeah.
Laguna. But they call it Bay, Bay Laguna. This is near UP Los Baños and Erie International Rice Institute. So we long-term leased about 27 hectares from a family in Bai. And the little money we had, the capital, we used to build the structures, the milking parlor, the barn that you see there. So, it's a quite capital intensive on the operation side.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So,
And,
mahirap to have to be in agriculture and you're dealing with live animals,
okay.
as you can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, and disease control. No, I mean, if like with
Yes.
chickens and hogs, and that's why these are they look yummy. These
Don't
cows-
eat them.
Yeah.
The body structure of the Holstein cow is different from that of a Jersey cow. So Holstein cows are built or are made to produce milk.
Okay.
Okay. So when they're resting like that, they're sitting down or they're lying down, they're producing milk because they're resting.
Yeah.
The cattle for fattening, they can eat whatever they find, and their body is built to produce more meat. So iba yung structure composition ng dairy cow sa fattening, sa cattle that's for fattening. So our cow is not for fattening.
Right. And when you guys started with these cows, of course you started with milk, no? But what were the challenges with milk that made your dad say, let's figure something else out?
Well, ang difficulty with dealing with these Holstein cows is they're very sensitive to temperature. That's why majority of the countries that have strong dairy industries are the cooler climate countries, like the eastern portion or the northeastern portion of the United States. The Netherlands. They have cool climates. The southern part of Australia, of course, New Zealand, which is a cool country, temperate climate country. Kasi a warm or when it's too hot for the cows, their milk production goes down. So there are a lot of things that affect milk production. One is the temperature. Number two is the feed. Number three is the type of cow it is, the breed of the cow. So there's so many factors that affect milk production, and that's just one part of our ice cream, diba? I mean,
Right.
that's why most ice cream they use powdered milk to make their ice cream.
Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, there's the big companies don't have a dairy farm to support their ice cream, so they use powdered milk to make their ice cream.
Now let's go to your ice cream, man. I got really hungry making these slides. This was one of your first, right? But you were telling me you started first. You tested vanilla, chocolate, strawberry,
Yes,
basics, right?
yes.
Then you moved to some really unique flavors or concoctions. What made
Yeah.
you start out? What were your first? Salted caramel?
Well, in February of 2011, that's when we started selling our ice cream. We came out with 4 flavors, and the 4 flavors were that in the picture: salted caramel. We had malted milk, which had a base of Horlicks. If you remember Horlicks from your
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
The third one was a Brazilian coffee. And the fourth one was a butter pecan, which I grew up eating in Houston, Texas, because I spent many years growing up in Texas. So butter pecan is a very popular flavor in the southern states in the US. So the flavors that I came up with was very close to my heart. And I didn't want to come up with a strawberry, chocolate, vanilla ice cream lineup that everybody has, right? That everybody had. So I wanted to be different. And the flavors that I came up with were the ones that I felt was, right for our market. They're malted milk, yeah.
Such good ones. Green tea. And then you've expanded. Now in the early days, actually, this is my favorite picture right here. Tell us about this picture. So
Well,
You didn't really start big, right? I mean, I love that cooler.
Yeah, that's my briefcase. That was my briefcase for how many years? Nasira na nga the handle because I kept on bringing it around. But when you start your business, I mean, you have to start knocking on doors, visiting people, and it's very difficult because you have to prove yourself, you have to prove your product. I mean, even as a business establishment, you're sort of wary carrying on a new product because you don't know how it's going to sell, right? So you really had to be patient and you have to be persistent, and of course you have to balance also that understanding the person you're presenting to and making things easier for them to take your product. So it was a lot of hardship. But what I knew was if I made as many people, I had to make as many people try our ice cream as much as I could.
Yeah.
So we were doing a lot of free tasting because nobody makes ice cream the way we do. As you know, it's very different, tastes very different. So we try to make people try our ice cream. And if they try it and they still don't like it, then they're not our customer, obviously. Right? So but when people try it and then for the most part they like it, then they're our customer for life, hopefully.
I like your marketing strategy because when I first tried salted caramel, because it was so different, you start telling everyone, hey guys, you got to try this.
Yes.
Because it's a different experience. And
Yeah.
even though there's like a little cup, that's good for 4 people. You know what I mean? This little cup, but it's so thick, it's so rich. We share it with 4 people.
Yes.
When we have it in for like Sunday lunch or things like that.
Yes.
And was that always your marketing strategy? Just more word of mouth, no?
Well, it was really that, and we were still growing, so I didn't know how the business was going to grow, and we just grew. Even in production, we just bought the machines that were right for our market at that time. So we've gone through about 5 different stages of changing machines. As we got bigger, we got bigger machines, and we got a little bit bigger, then we got a little bit bigger machines. So we didn't really buy a big machine initially because we didn't know how it was going to grow. I mean, selling our ice cream back in 2011 at the prices that we were selling at that time was already considered quite high. So we were selling our ice cream at a higher price than most ice creams were being sold.
Yeah.
And that in itself was a challenge for us because people would always ask, how come your ice cream is so expensive? So I would just say, why don't you try it first? Please try it. I'll give you a spoon, just try it. Now, if you don't like it, then don't buy it. Right? So, I mean, I know that there's a big part of the population that don't buy our ice cream primarily because of the price. And then I know that that's not really my market, and I don't try to cater to them. So for me, my commitment is to give the best quality ice cream, and I'm committed to the people who are already our customers.
Going back to the early days, no, when you were walking around with that cooler, what exactly, or like who were you presenting to? What were you trying to get them to agree to? And how much rejection did you get?
Well, you get rejected about 9 out of 10 times, and you just have to keep on, pounding the streets and keep on visiting, and you have to keep your funnel full, right? So if you're getting rejected 9 out of 10 times, if you have 30 people to visit in one day, which is rare because how can you get 30 accounts, right? To 30 appointments, then you'll hopefully get 3 accounts, and then from those 3 you'll get hopefully another 6 and so on. So para it grows. And I think when people really started trying the ice cream, that's when they sort of woke up and said, wow, this is very different, because we really want it to be different from everything else that people try.
When you would present, no, was this for them to buy it or for you to consign to put on shelf space?
No, we do COD lang.
COD. Okay.
Yeah, because it's hard, it's expensive for us to store ice cream because it has to be frozen. So what we do is we'll tell them you can start, a small volume, and then we can grow it as you wish. So we put a freezer in their establishment, and then we go from there. And if things don't work out, then it doesn't work out. But if things work out, then we go from there. But we have mainly Metro Manila sales,
Okay.
as you would guess. Yeah.
Now, as I teach my team, now the whole process about learning something new, because you have no background in ice cream, right?
No, I did a total career change at the age of what? That was 9 years ago. So I was 43 years old. Yeah.
So I tell my team, decide, learn, do, persist. No? So the first thing is decide what you want to learn. So I want to show people the steps that you took to learn. No?
Yeah.
So from here, okay. Oh, I asked you what is your big break, no? And you
Yes.
told me this was your big break. Because I noticed that, from going from a couple of freezers, then it grew quite quickly. And I asked you, do you remember the point when it gained momentum? And you pointed this out. Could you talk about this event?
Okay, so I think it was about basta latter part of 2014 when Philippine Airlines was bought by Lucio Tan from Ramon Ang. Because if you recall, there was a time when it was Lucio Tan was not the primary owner of PAL, no? So when Lucio Tan bought back his shares from Ramon Ang, they took out all the Magnolia ice cream from from the airline, right? And it was timing because it was a few months before the Pope came in. So that purchase of Lucio Tan from Ramon Ang at that time, it signaled na out yung mga Magnolia products or the San Miguel products was taken out of the PAL commissary, no? So we were negotiating with them around December of 2014, and then the Pope came in on January of 2015. They didn't tell me that the Pope was gonna eat the ice cream or the ice cream was gonna be served into the flight of the Pope. Nobody told us that. They just said, "Oh, we need 200 cups of." I think they ordered brown butter, almond brittle, and malted milk.
Man.
So when they ordered that, I threw in another, I think 20 or 40 cups of pistachio, just so That was when I found out already that most likely the Pope was gonna be trying our ice cream. And I think that really turned things around for us, because when it came out, when these write-ups came out in the press, it was really a big help for us. It gave us credibility.
Not paid. No, you didn't pay for this. It was
no. They paid nga for the ice cream. They paid for the ice cream. Yeah.
You just gave enough. Dude, I swear,
Yeah.
I'm going to your house after this. I'm gonna buy some more.
Yeah.
Okay, this was very impressive. The award that you got, no? Carmen Best CEO Paco Magsaysay talks about formulating. This was the Entrepreneur Award.
Agora Award.
How do you win
Agora
that?
Award. So I got an email that I was one of the finalists of the Agora Award, and I was like, "What's the Agora Award?" I didn't even know what it was, and so I said, "Yeah, sure, you can interview me." I mean, I was doing a lot of interviews, and we were winning some awards here and there, and then so when the people from the Agora Awards came to interview me, it was pala for them to tell me that I won it already.
Wow.
So they already they screened me already. They checked, background check everything, how we grew, our history, our story. And so when they came to the office, they were like, "Oh, we just came here to tell you that you won the Agora Award." So I don't lobby for things like this. I don't try to get awards or speaking engagements from other people. I just do what I have to do. I just work. And it was really very very touching, and I was very honored to have received that Agora Award. It's a very prestigious award. I found out later, and it's fantastic.
Hey, Antonio Chan from Singapore says hello.
Hi, Antonio. Hope you've tried our ice cream there. We have a
Okay.
small shop.
Now these are the things I look for everywhere. These little freezers of yours.
Yes.
So this is really your advertising, no? I mean, you had no print ad. I mean, no traditional media, no tri-media, no TV
No.
series.
Yeah. We cater to a niche market. We're not a mass market product. I know it, and I don't. If it doesn't happen, then I'm fine with it. I'm committed to making a certain quality type of ice cream, and that's what I want to do.
You were talking about listening to the customers, and that's
Yes.
really your market research. Now you listen to your customers. What kind of feedback have you gotten from them, and like what kind of changes have you made based on their feedback?
Well, when you say listening to your customer, meaning they've already agreed to carry the ice cream. So
Okay.
they talk more about, maybe about flavors or um, how we can promote it in their establishment, whether it's a coffee shop or a restaurant, which in the last several weeks has really changed. I mean, I'm not expecting so much anymore from restaurants and coffee shops and the airlines that we cater to. Like we cater to PAL,
Yeah.
Singapore Airlines. We cater to Qantas and Delta. So that part of our business has really taken a big hit. So
How do you pivot? I mean, everyone's talking. That's like the in word now, right? Pivot. Everyone has to pivot, and
yeah.
quickly. How are you pivoting?
Well, I think um, we're still quite fortunate that we've been in business for the last several years. So we have a good base of customers and who know what our quality is and our regular customers. So we're looking to work with, as they say, community dealers. These are the people that sell, shrimp or fruits, in the
Okay. Yeah.
different villages. So it's actually how we started. So it's not something new to us. I mean, we've done it before. So parang we're just gonna go back to what we were doing before and hope for the best.
If I see you in front of my house with your cooler, yeah, I'll buy from you for sure, man. I'll take the whole thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, but that's interesting because wow, how quickly it changed. No, but at least the supermarkets are still there, and you're carried in the
Yes.
supermarket, and
Yeah.
that's a big one.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, now let's go back to this particular part here. Wow,
How
you know my
quickly.
slides. I didn't memorize my slides, but let's talk about this first.
So here you see I'm with Sister Guada of the Good Shepherd Foundation in Baguio because one of our CSR programs is to work with the Good Shepherd Foundation in Baguio City, and we have 10 scholars every year. So these are our 10 scholars, and they all pass the board exams. They all pass the board exams in the different industries that they got into. We also give them all our egg whites because when we make our ice cream, we use real eggs to make our ice cream. That's why it tastes very different. It's called custard style ice cream, which is
What do the others use if they don't use that?
they use artificial
Emulsion?
emulsifiers
Yeah,
and
emulsion.
stabilizers. Yeah, because egg yolk is a natural, it's a natural emulsifier, and that's what we use. Which is what makes our ice cream different. I mean, I remember using a powdered egg before, and it didn't taste the same. And then, of course, I tried using the. Wait, my dog's barking. 1 second. My dog wants to get out.
That's the priorities, that's about work from home. Pivot ka agad. Gotta work on the dog. So guys,
Yeah.
that's funny.
So yeah, then for me the most important is the taste. So the ingredients that we use, we just want it to be very different from everything else. So we really use fresh eggs when we produce our ice cream. So all the egg whites, which we have no use for, we send it to Baguio, and Sister Guada uses it for her cookies. So the cookies that you buy in Good Shepherd in Baguio, more likely than not, those egg whites came from us.
Wow. Wow. You're a good man,
Yeah.
buddy. You're a
Yeah.
good man.
You gotta help out.
That's why you're blessed.
Yeah.
Is it
That's
this all?
my son Mikey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the same, the Baguio Foundation?
Yes, the Good Shepherd
Good
Foundation. That's the
Shepherd.
one that sells the strawberry jam and the ube jam. That's the Good Shepherd Foundation.
Okay. Now, okay, this is the part I was excited about because I really like the fact that you decided first, okay, I'm gonna make ice cream. And
Yeah.
then you decide, and then so once you decided, then you learn. How'd you learn how to make the ice cream?
Well, I learned making ice cream by watching YouTube of all things. So
Wow.
I mean, it's amazing what you can learn watching YouTube. I mean, that's how I found out how to make a rocket stove. I was watching YouTube. And I built
That's
a
right.
rocket
That's
stove in
your
the back of
YouTube
my house.
career, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the younger generation, they don't realize how fortunate they are to have YouTube at their disposal. Because
Yeah.
when we were doing research when we were in college, we had to go through microfiche and the index cards, and then
Oh my God,
you find
microfilm.
the book. Diba? It's very different now. So there's so much information at hand
Yeah.
that it's so easy to access. So for me, it's like a dream come true. You can ask anything you want and you can find it, find the answer in a few seconds.
And then this
But
is Penn State.
yeah, so I started making ice cream in 2010 when we were testing different formulations. And when I saw that it was starting to grow, I actually asked my dad if I could take on the ice cream work as a full time. And he was nice enough to say, yeah, you go ahead and do the ice cream, because I was running the family business at that time, the cable TV business. And I said, I think I need to take further studies on how to make proper ice cream the proper way. So I searched again on the internet, where's the best ice cream school in the world, right? And it was in Penn State. That's where it's called the Ice Cream Short Course. And that's where Ben and Jerry studied.
What's this? Is this like the course or a
Yeah.
menu?
Well, this is the Berkey Creamery, and that's where they serve ice cream, and para siyang high-end canteen of the school. Because Penn State is known for their School of Agriculture. So they have many classes on agri-based products. And, they have their own dairy farm. So they even have a cultured milk class, which I got to take. No? So cultured milk would be mga yogurt, flavored milk, some cheeses, butter. But what I took initially was this ice cream short course in 2013. That's our class. Yeah.
How long was the course?
The course was 1 week. And it's funny because if you look at the back part there, in the back left side of the picture, that's Christina Tosi. Christina Tosi of Momofuku. Iron Chef. So she was my classmate here. And, she's quite known at that time for her cereal milk ice cream. Right? But she makes cereal milk ice cream as a soft serve. So soft serve is different from hard ice cream, which is what we make. And I told Christina, I said, can you tell me what your recipe is? Because I'm never going to enter the US market. I'll just be selling ice cream in the Philippines. Could you share me your recipe? Because I really love your cereal milk ice cream. So she told me how to make the cereal milk ice cream, and now we make it. And we have very loyal followers for our cereal milk ice cream. We make it using Frosted Flakes. So if you're a Frosted Flakes guy, you gotta try our cereal milk ice cream.
Oh man, I gotta try it. Where are you here? What row? I can't find you.
I am right smack in the middle, beside the guy with the red shirt.
Oh, there you are in the gray. Okay,
Yeah.
right in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Wow. I knew it was the time to take the class picture, so I ran and I sat there in the middle of the
Good one.
Yeah.
Okay. This was okay. I forgot about what was this slide about again?
So every year that they have the class, they have an award called the Keenie Beanie Award. And the Keenie Beanie Award is given to the most promising ice cream maker in the whole class. And for 2013, I won the Keenie Award for most promising ice cream maker.
Was it because of the quality, the sales, the flavors?
No, I didn't make ice cream there, but it was um, judged by the professors of the class.
Okay,
So I won the award.
congrats. This was a happy surprise, and I shared it with all of my friends in Singapore. You're going
Yes.
global.
Yes, and that's what I mean by when you make your product so high, you can compete with everybody, right? I mean, I'm not competing so much with the ice cream here to a certain extent in terms of quality, but I'm competing with ice cream that have international standards. That's why these people from Singapore got a franchise of Carmen's Best, and they opened a shop in Capitol Piazza, which is where the Kempinski Hotel is, across Raffles City. So our shop in Singapore is right across Raffles City in Singapore. So that opened last December 16, if I'm not mistaken, December 16.
Okay, you have a lot of friends, no? Carol and Meryl Miller says hi from Modesto, California.
I don't see that. You can see it, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I know it's you'll get to see it on the page, but you have a lot of friends. No? So my team is watching. No,
Yes.
my team is watching. And what are your international expansion plans after Singapore, or it's just whoever offers?
Um, well, when you look at the map of Southeast Asia or just Asia in general, number one, you have to look at the temperature. Where are you going to expand? You're gonna expand in the northern part of Asia, which is Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, or are you gonna expand in the southern part of Asia, which is more Malaysia, Indonesia? So another thing you have to look at is the taste, because if you look at the desserts in Japan, it's not very sweet. You look at Chinese desserts, it's not also very sweet. But if you look at the southern countries in Southeast Asia, it's more attuned to ice cream eating. No? Because don't forget, ice cream is it's a Western thing. No? Whereas gelato is more European. So we make ice cream. So ice cream is made differently from gelato.
I'm going to ask you the difference, but I know that this is something you're really proud of there.
Yeah, it's my baby girl, Carmen.
Does she
So
inherit the whole thing, or is she going to share it with her brothers?
it's just the name.
Yeah.
Siyempre dapat fair, di ba?
Yeah. One favoritism. So,
Yeah.
what's the difference between gelato and ice cream?
So gelato is actually the Italian word for ice cream, but it's made different from ice cream. Gelato is more fresh milk than heavy cream or fat, compared to ice cream, which is more cream, which is fat, and less milk. So if you look at the flavor profile of gelato, it's more fruity. You have grapes, you have melon, and whereas the flavor profile of chocolate ice cream is more chocolate and nuts. Because in order for the flavor to get through the fat of ice cream, it has to be strong. That's why you don't see a melon ice cream, right? You don't see so many fruits that are ice cream flavors, except for the strong flavors like say a mango or something like a strawberry, But the lighter fruits like grape or melon, it's more of gelato. So ice cream is heavier in terms of higher in fat, and gelato has lower fat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about being an entrepreneur, though. When you
Yes.
were growing this last 10 years, did you have any like big challenges? Doorbell, I don't know who that is, but
You have to get that.
no, not
No.
really. No, someone will get it unless they keep ringing. But you it takes all of your time, no?
Yes.
When you're trying to grow, how many hours were your day? How long were your day? Your day.
Well, the first few years, I was hitting 12 to 14 a day. The first few years, because since we didn't know if the company was going to grow, I wasn't hiring people to help me out. I was doing everything myself, right?
Yeah.
And you only realize that. I mean, getting even one person, you hire one person, that's quite a lot if you're a startup. So we hired our first person, I think at the third year of our business. So the first 3 years, I was putting in a lot of work, meaning a lot of time per day and a lot of days of the week. I was working 6, 7 days a week. And I guess I also enjoyed it so much, and it became sort of my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like meeting with people, talking to them about the ice cream. It didn't seem like work. It felt like I was meeting people and talking to them about my passion project. And this ice cream was really my passion project. And it was so close to my heart because I named it after my daughter, and I was buying the milk from my dad's farm. So it was so close to my heart that I felt that there's no way I'm gonna stop doing this. I gotta make this thing work. I mean, I'm gonna put in the hours needed. I'm gonna work as hard as I can just to get this thing up and running. And sa awa naman ng Diyos, I know naman, I'm not saying I'm the hardest working person in the world, no. I mean, I know there are a lot of other people who are harder working than me, but I put in a lot of time, and it paid off. It worked out. So we were able to hire our first person, I think 3.5 years after. But my first 3 years, I wasn't even getting a salary. So I was getting my salary from the other business, the our other family business. So I'm very fortunate, yeah, that my dad continued my salary there. No, so when I say that our quality is not compromised, we choose our ingredients based on taste. We don't choose it based on how much money we're gonna make. Kaya when you try our ice cream, whether whatever flavor it is, it's truly exceptional. It's
I
very
love it.
different.
No, really, the best in the world for me. Why not? The best in the world.
Yeah.
Paco, thanks for sharing that you didn't get a salary for the longest time. No, what would
Yeah.
you recommend to a young entrepreneur in terms of balance between trying to make the business succeed and time with family? Do you have any advice for the young entrepreneurs?
Well, I think you need to put a lot of time and effort in your business. And if you're the type of person who likes to just come in the morning at 9 or 10 in the morning and then go back home at 5 or 6, then do not be an entrepreneur
Yeah.
because it's not for you. And as we were talking earlier, it doesn't make you a bad person. I mean, you have to understand who you are first. I mean, if you're a very intense person and you're willing to put in the hours, the days of work, then you can consider looking at being an entrepreneur, because a lot of times you're doing a lot of work on your own. You're not with people, and you're toiling away in the midnight oil, and it's just a lot of work. And people don't realize how much work is needed until they do it themselves. And it's like a marathon that doesn't end.
It doesn't end.
So yeah, so kaya nyo ba yon? Kaya nyo bang gawin yon, di ba? So yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, and the one thing, I asked you a question, which is a standard question for entrepreneurs, and I was surprised by your answer. And the question was, did you ever feel like quitting? And the answer was no.
Yeah, I think you have to also see how you are as a person. Like, do you quit easy? Right? I mean, there's so many times I got rejected. There's so many times that I guess I played it safe. Like, another thing that I didn't want to hire somebody initially was because I didn't know if the business was going to work. Right? The only time I hired somebody was when I knew it was going to work already. So I didn't want to take a risk by hiring 1 or 2 people and then not knowing if it's going to work or not. So I was doing all the work myself. I was taking on the load. I mean, I had some people from the other office helping me, and that was a huge help. And but it was not on a full-time basis. It was just all part-time because we were still small scale. So really, it will test you as a person. I mean, starting a business from scratch, it's going to test you.
I find it interesting. How many businesses have you actually started?
This would have been the third business. The ice cream is a third business. The
Okay.
first business I started was a computer parts business in Houston, Texas, and that thing failed. And then when I first moved back to the Philippines, I started a drug testing business for dangerous drugs. And that didn't work out either. And you learn from these things. And for me, it's all a learning experience. So everything that you went through, you apply it to the next venture that you're doing. And you
Right.
just keep on learning.
And even though the business has failed, did you ever feel like a failure?
No, I never thought of myself as a failure. I mean, if it failed, it's not because I didn't give 110% effort. So whenever I get into something, I'm gonna pour in my heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, then it didn't work out. I mean, it's not like nagkulang ako or something. So I mean, I think in anything you do, you have to really do your best. And if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. So,
Do you remember a particular rejection that really stands out?
well, I was in a small grocery, one of our clients, and this older lady, I offered her the ice cream, and she says, "Ano ang mahal-mahal ng ice cream mo, ba't gawa lang dito sa Pilipinas?"
Oh,
Right? Yeah, so I was like thinking, well, I know a lot of people think that way, that how can it be so good if it's made in the Philippines, right?
yeah.
And when you asked me that question, that's the first thing that came to mind, because I never forgot that. And I didn't make her kulit. I just let her be. But I realized that maybe that's also why a lot of people haven't tried her ice cream, because they think, well, it's just made in the Philippines, so it can't be that good. So for me, there's also that side of the market that you can't argue with them, because that's culturally that's how they think, right? So for me, I just want to make people try it, as many people as I can, and for those who feel that way, then I don't bother with them.
Yeah. Just don't bother with them and focus on those who actually want it, right?
Yes,
Now,
yeah.
for those who like it, how do you keep them coming back? How do you keep them trying the other flavors? How do you keep your loyal customers?
Well, number one, my level of quality has to be maintained.
Yeah.
Because the moment I drop my quality, I'm gonna lose my customers, and it's not like I have tons of customers. I mean, I'm not like one of the bigger companies in the Philippines that has 80% market share. I am nowhere near that, right? So the few customers that I have to keep them happy. So number one, my commitment to keep the quality the way it is. Number one. Number two is to give them a variety of flavors that hopefully they'll get to try. Because whenever you talk to people, they just talk about a few flavors of Carmen's Best. They haven't tried a lot of the other flavors. And I tell them we make our ice cream all the same way, because I don't know what people are gonna try the first time they try it, right? So I have to make it a certain way every time.
What's your most popular? Salted caramel?
That's the number one flavor, salted caramel. It's the first flavor that we came up with, and up to now, it's our number one selling flavor.
Did you
That's
feel
the vanilla pala of the Filipinos. Salted caramel is the vanilla of Pinoys. Kasi vanilla for Pinoys is too bland for them, eh.
yeah.
So the Pinoy taste, it's really salted caramel. Yeah.
Do you sell more of the little cups or the bigger ones?
Oh, we sell more of the little cups, because the airlines, for one, they just get the little cups, and that's a big part of our business. And coffee shops, restaurants. So the pints, it's a little bit higher in price. So our market is less in that size
No, I
bracket.
tell you, when I buy the pint, so I share it with my family. One pint was good for like 12 people, I think.
Yeah, because it's so dense.
It is.
Sometimes you just need one spoon, diba?
Yeah.
So, but see, people just see the price and they see it so small. Why is it so expensive? And for some people, they can't get over that. So,
But it's really not expensive if you look
Yeah.
at it for what it is. It's just that if you're comparing it to what's in a few freezers away, then it looks expensive, but standalone, it's really not. And it's a
Yes.
joy. It's a joy to eat it every time. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Pivoting, going back to what happened with us starting March, no? So there was this whole big shift. What can you advise people right now, entrepreneurs, business owners, in terms of pivoting? What do you see happening in the next couple of months? What's good advice for the future?
Well, for us, I just talk about what we did. No? So what we did was, when we were informed about, well, when we were all informed about what was happening and there was going to be a lockdown, we didn't know how contagious or how quickly the virus would spread. So we even stopped our production for a month. And we were lucky enough, we had some reserves to continue the salary of our employees for that 1 month. And we had to assess what was happening in terms of the market. I mean, we already know that the malls shut down, groceries shut down for a while, for a few days. Restaurants definitely were shut down, and airlines stopped flying, at a certain point. And that was a big part of our business. But for me, the most important is we gotta stay alive. I mean, that's the most important thing right now. And I didn't want any of our people, our production people, and our management team to catch this virus and to get sick. I mean, life is bigger than the company itself, right? So for me, we had to make sure that everybody was well and nobody was going to get the disease. And I think that's the first priority. Second priority is, of course, to see how you can salvage or what you can do with your business moving forward. Okay, so given the fact that there's no more airlines, to not so much business to rely from them, coffee shops and restaurants are definitely not there anymore, not like it was before. So we still have the groceries and, like I said, working with community resellers.
Yeah.
But when you look back, the fact that we started in 2011, we still have our customer base. I mean, people are still ordering the ice cream. So I think we're quite fortunate, compared to other businesses and other industries. So I tend to look at the good things, of what's happening. And I don't expect to make this a record year, anything like that, or even make what we did last year. But for me, number one, like I said, we need to all survive this thing. I mean, physically survive it.
Yeah, surviving. Number one.
Number two, if you're able to even break even, you'd be lucky to break even. But target that you break even, that you pay your expenses, you pay your people, and grow the business again from there. I mean, we've done it before, we can do it again. So it may not be the same as before, but I think that's a given. So it's really rearranging your priorities and making sure that everybody's okay initially.
Yeah, and also having a different measure of success. Tomorrow I'm alive, success,
Yes, exactly.
That perspective, staying alive is number one. Yeah, seriously. I'm gonna buy ice cream later on, so I'll be passing by.
And don't go out so much.
I just have to move some stuff, for my customers. Customer satisfaction always still. Have you always had the entrepreneur mindset, or was that something that came later on in life?
I think I've always had it. I'm always thinking of. I think as an entrepreneur, I have an entrepreneur's mindset, and I knew it even several years ago because I took the AIM course, the ME course, when AIM was offering it. I think 2008. So we were in the last batch of the ME course in AIM before our group of professors moved to Ateneo. So I took the ME course in 2008 and graduated 2009. And the business I put there, since we just incorporated the company in 2009, Carmen's Best, the business I put as my thesis was the cable TV company. So if you go to AIM and look at my thesis there, it's that of the cable TV company. It's not of Carmen's Best, because Carmen's Best came after my class in AIM. But everything I learned in AIM, I was able to put into Carmen's Best. So that's how much I got out of that class.
When we were talking previously, you were also talking about having a mentor. Who was your mentor for the ice cream business?
Well, I get to talk a lot to Jojo Magsaysay of Potato Corner. He's a uncle of mine, but a younger uncle. He's closer to me in age than my dad. So he's very generous with his time and
Wow.
his advice. And my other relative on my mother's side is Greg Banson of Century Tuna. So these two guys alone, I mean, I get so much from them. And yeah, I mean they're quite generous with their advice to me. And so it's been a great ride because there's so many people who are helping us out. And I mean, between Greg and Jojo, it's just amazing the help that they give me.
Well, this is one thing I tell people, right? Successful people are more than happy to share
Yes, yes,
information. Like when I ask you, can you talk to my team? Can you share with my team? Right away,
yeah,
you said yes, and I
yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah,
And again, I wanted to make it public because I think a lot of people will benefit from it.
yeah.
But it's the entrepreneur, they have they're not shy to ask advice from successful people, right? And
Yes,
because they know successful people will actually share it.
yeah. For me, I mean, it's good to get advice from the people that you want to get advice from. And at the end of the day, what you do is a combination of, let's say, what they tell you and what you know and what you think should be done. It's still your call,
Yeah.
right? But for me, it's good to get advice from people who have been doing it for longer years than you have. I mean, Greg's been in consumer business for how long? And FMG and Jojo did the entrepreneur side of Potato Corner. So these guys have been there a lot longer than I have. So the fact that they're even taking my call, I'm very lucky
Uh,
that they take my
you think
call.
they would have taken your call if you weren't a relative, but what was
Yeah,
their advice though? Can you share with us? Like for each one, what was their advice? The one that stands out.
I well, for me, they've given me so much information and advice. I can't really think of one right now. I'm getting a mental block.
That's right.
So, but they've helped me a lot, not just with whether it's selling or marketing or dealing with the groceries or even up to the logistics parts. Because in cable TV, we don't deal with logistics so much. Not so much, no. Whereas when you have a food production company, if you have an ingredient that's not moving, you have dead cash sitting in your inventory in your warehouse, right? So there were other aspects of the business that were so new to me that they were able to help me out a lot.
Thank goodness. So
Yeah.
just to summarize, no, decide and then take classes, watch YouTube, get a
Yes.
mentor. Yeah, watch YouTube. And I know that your next venture is your YouTube channel, teaching people how to cook with a rocket stove. It was a good video. Who did the editing for that?
My son and his girlfriend.
Yeah, I
I'm still
swear.
learning that.
Yeah, we're like, what's Paco doing? What's it? But then we end up watching it. Oh, so that. And then cooking with the twigs. It was a lot of
Yeah.
fun. Paco, we're gonna be wrapping up, no?
Yeah.
Is there any advice that you could give people, wannabe entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs who are starting out, or maybe people who have been there for a while and haven't had their Carmen's best moment yet?
Well, I think it's important to understand yourself. If being an entrepreneur is really for you, like I said, whether you're a corporate person or you are an entrepreneur, it really depends on the kind of person that you are. I think number two, it's important to get into something that you enjoy or you like. Do not get into something that you feel will give you a lot of money because it's not going to work out. If you chase the money, it's not going to come. I mean, you have to do something that you feel really, how do you say, close about or feel personally close to, that will make you feel motivated to keep on going when things get bad. I mean, and that's going to happen a lot of times. I think the third thing would be to not have a plan B. Many people have a plan B, and when things get tough, they give up
Yeah.
and they go on plan B. And if I had a plan B, there would be no Carmen's Best because things got tough so many times. And if I had a plan B, I would have quit Carmen's Best and done the plan B. So have a mindset that you've got to make this thing work. I mean, there's no other option but to make it work. You have to make it happen. Because if you don't make it happen, then that's it. You're a failure. And the fact that I named it after my own daughter, there's a little bit of a
Pressure.
sentimental connection there, right? So of course, I was doing it for Carmen. I was doing it for my kids, and I wanted to leave a business for them because I was diagnosed with cancer for a few years. So
Sure.
yeah, so I was really like looking at leaving this business for them, and I wanted to grow it to a certain scale before I had to, ease off and get, more treatment. But yeah, it really depends. I mean, there's so many trials and tests that you will go through, and you just have to be very emotionally and strong about it, and very decided to succeed.
And that's really that mindset. I wanted to ask, and this is the last question. When you said things got tough, and things always get tough for entrepreneurs, right? It never stops, no? There's
It
always
never
challenge
stops.
after challenge after challenge.
Yeah.
How would you describe your mindset when things get tough?
Well, of course, you'll get down for a while. And I realized that when you get down, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 or 4 days that it happens, no? But I think it's important to keep on thinking of the positive things,
Yeah.
right? Like what we just talked about now. There's this sickness that's going around, people are dying. Well, what's the positive thing? Number one, you're still alive. You didn't get the sickness, right? Number two, your staff is good. They're fine. Number three, people know about your product. Many people have tried the ice cream. So you have to keep on looking at the good side, because if you start dwelling on the bad stuff, then you're gonna get dragged down and you're not gonna feel like working anymore. So you have to really be optimistic. The glass is always half full, and we can do better. We can. You think of growth. You think of the people that are relying on you, relying on their livelihood, which is working with you. So it's no longer just you. So the stakes are higher when you have people on board, and you have your clients and your suppliers that you got to pay off. So yeah, it's important that it's a bigger thing now. It's not just you. Diba? It's like when you have children, you're not thinking of yourself anymore. You're thinking of you and your kids. So yeah, it's just you have to balance your killer mindset with being kind. Because if you have too much of a killer instinct, then it turns off a lot of people. I mean, you have to also be you have to show your soft side, and when your reseller needs some help with whatever, you're there to help them out, to support them. So you have to balance your dealings with your clients and your suppliers.
Paco, do you want to invite people and tell them where to buy your products? What's open now? Where can they get it?
Yeah, well, you can just check our website in Facebook. So our site in Facebook is Carmen's Best fan page, and we also have an Instagram account, which is Carmen's Best.
Yeah, be careful, because when you go there, oh my God, the pictures. The photographer was very good.
Yes. Yeah.
He captured it. And
Yes.
with that, the hour went really quickly.
Yes.
I enjoyed it. I learned a lot, and you have my admiration. And I'm a fan of your ice cream, and I'm a fan of the man.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Okay, take care, man, and stay safe.
Take
See you.
care. Have a good
Bye,
day.
everyone.
Bye.
Hope you all
Bye.
enjoy.